Hosted by Matt Riches. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickets. Turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickets. Watch the market unfold. $1 trillion tickets. Turning data to gold. $1 trillion tickets. Watch the market unfold. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickets broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is Friday, July 24th, 2026. Happy Friday! The market is attempting to stabilize after Thursday's major technology sell-off. Verizon and American Express had earnings this morning. However, Brent crude remains close to $100 per barrel. Treasury yields are elevated, and the Trump administration has implemented new tariffs on 60 of its trading partners. The fear and greed index is falling to 39, further into fear. So today's question is simple. Can the semiconductors rebound, or will oil prices rising along with tariffs and elevated treasury yields keep pressure on the market? I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Before we get into the charts, let's get into the mindset with our mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable. I am skilled. I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's check out some data. At 6:45, we do have flash manufacturing PMI forecasted at 54.4 and flash services PMI forecasted at 51.3. Manufacturing PMI measures business activity across the manufacturing economy, while services PMI tracks activity in much larger sector services sector. Tracks activity in much larger services sectors. At 7 a.m., we have new home sales forecasted at 609,000. Fear and greed index is at 39, so we are still in fear. Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. 10-year Treasury yield note is at 4.7%. That is definitely elevated. Gold is around $4,000 an ounce. Bitcoin is around $65,000. Ethereum is around $1,800. Let's see. And that new tariff that Trump was talking about is going to be on. It's going to go between 10 to 12.5% on selected goods from those 60 partners. The administration said tariffs are connected to inadequate enforcement on bans of products made with forced labor. The affected economies include major American trading partners such as China, European Union, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. Markets must consider the potential effect on supply chains, corporate costs, consumer prices, and international trade relationships. Intel, after earnings, it did run up crazy, but it ended up selling off. At one point, it was up 13%, but it sold off to just being up 1%, and it's currently up around 4%. The company did deliver its strongest quarterly earnings growth in 15 years and issued a better-than-expected forecast. Verizon reported earnings of small beat on earnings, but they missed on revenue. However, Verizon added 184,000 monthly wireless subscribers, exceeding estimates, and raised its full-year profit and free cash flow forecast. The stock is up 3% in the pre-market. American Express reported earnings. Small beat on earnings. Revenue increased 10% to $19 billion, but that was still below estimates. Card member spending increased 9%, and American Express raises full-year revenue growth forecast to 10%. Despite the beat, American Express shares are down over 1% in the pre-market. All right, let's get to Robert Greene's daily law for today. Make them fetishize you. Daily law. Your image and presence are materials that you can control. When people recognize that you understand presentation, they may view you as distinctive, elevating, and worthy of attention. Today's law comes from The Art of Seduction. Robert Greene uses Marlene Dietrich as an example of someone who understood how to create a memorable image. Her clothing attracted attention, but her calm and seemingly indifferent presence completed the effect. Dietrich studied her appearance from the outside. She understood that style, expression, movement, and presentation could all be deliberately shaped. The broader lesson is that standing out requires self-awareness. You must understand how other people perceive you and determine whether that perception supports the image you intend to project. For long-term investing, companies also create images around themselves. Some want to be viewed as innovators, others want to represent safety, luxury, reliability, or disruption. Investors must separate the corporate image from the underlying business. A powerful brand can create customer loyalty and pricing power, but branding cannot permanently compensate for weak cash flow, declining margins, or poor execution. Study both the image and the financials behind the reality of it. When it comes to day trading, certain stocks become symbols of broader market themes. Nvidia represents artificial intelligence. Tesla represents autonomy and robotics, and electric vehicles, of course. Oil companies can represent geopolitical risk and inflation. These associations attract volume and emotional participation. Use that attention as information, but never confuse popularity with a guaranteed trade. Price action, volume, market structure, and risk management must still confirm the setup. Stay patient, stay disciplined, execution over emotion, process over prediction. Now let's get on these charts, y'all. All right, let's start with Nvidia. Current price in the pre-market, 207.85. To the downside support, we got 206.71, 204.95, 202.30, $200.15. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 309, followed by 209, followed by 211.60, 214.35, 217.25. Next, we got Apple currently in the pre-market at 321.71. To the downside, we got the pre-market low of 320.76, 319.70. Then the top of this gap at 317.30. The gap goes all the way to 316.19. And then we got 311.91 under there. That's a weekly level down there. To the upside, we got the pre-market high of 322.97, followed by 323.34, 326.90, 329, 333.70. Next, we got Google currently in the pre-market at 318.15. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 317.80, followed by 315.50, and the top of this gap at 311.09. This gap goes all the way to 305.59. Underneath the gap, we got 297.70. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 321.61, followed by 323.75, and then the bottom of this gap at 324.53. Inside this gap, I do have a level here at 330.20, followed by 335.70, and the top of this gap is 341.75. Yes, Google had a terrible day yesterday, down 7%, down $24 yesterday, y'all. Next up, we got Microsoft currently in the pre-market at 385.66. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 382.72, followed by 378.65, 373.35, 367.45. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 386.66, 386.96, 391, 393, and 401. Next, we got Amazon currently in the pre-market at 233.73. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 233.71. So it's basically pushing pre-market lows right now. Underneath that, we got 227.85, 225.55, 223.68. And then we got the top of this gap here at 219.63. That goes all the way to 213.93. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 235.50, followed by 238.25, 240.90, 242.45, 245.18, 248.45. Next, we got TSM currently in the pre-market at 412.74. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 412. We got the top of this gap at 411.85. The gap goes all the way to 409.89. Underneath that, we got 407.15. And then we got our 405.50. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high 416.30, followed by 420.79, 414.80, 429.90. Next, we got AVGO currently in the pre-market at 389. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 388.58, followed by 385.15, 380, 375.95, 369.90. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 392.34, followed by 398.59, 402.25, 407.50, and 412.70. Next, we got Meta Platforms currently in the pre-market at 603.06. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 598.56, 590.15, and then the top of this gap here at 577.11 goes all the way to 565.63. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 610.50, followed by 615.45, 624, 630.70, 636.75. Next, we got SpaceX currently in the pre-market at 117. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 115.77. Followed by 111.40. Yesterday's low of 110.85 and then 105. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 118.04. Followed by yesterday's high of 118.57, 122.10, 124.77, 129.10. Next, we got Tesla currently in the pre-market. It has very low volume in the pre-market today, which is unusual. Currently in the pre-market at 321.48. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 320. And Tesla broke the lows of the year last year, so I actually haven't drawn any levels to the downside, and I'm not going to do it right now. So I'll just give you yesterday's low was 315.74. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 325, and then 329, and then 337. Next, we got MU currently in the pre-market at 972. To the downside support, we got 967.50, 957.85, 936.05, 916.55. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 985.88. And then we get into our smart money concept resistance zone, which starts at 988.45. I do have a level inside here of 998. The midway point is going to be $1,011, and then the top of this zone is $1,035. Next, we got Berkshire B currently in the pre-market at 490.80. The downside support, we got the pre-market low of 490.11, 487.81, 486.15. To the upside resistance, we got 491.50 and 492.30. Next, we got Eli Lilly currently in the pre-market at 1184. To the downside support, we got 1180, 1175, 1167, 1153. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 1190, followed by 1196 and 1200, then 1218 and 1230. Next, we got SPY currently in the pre-market at $739.13. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of $738.84, followed by 738, 735.21, 732.10, 728.25. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 740.94, followed by 742.56, 742.75, 747.30, 750.75. Next, we got QQQ currently in the pre-market at 691.59. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 690.91, 688.65, 687.79. And then there's a lot of support here, because this is a previous week low and a previous month low here around 686. And it's also the top of the gap. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 694.44, followed by 695.50, 698.66, and then 705. Next, we got IWM currently in the pre-market at 293.17. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at 292.27, 291.65, 290.70, and the top of our smart money concept support zone here at 289, and then one level inside that zone is 287.85. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 293.88, 295, 296.45, 296.75. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. Because you have tuned in live, you get to check out one of my songs that I created yesterday. Let's see what we got, folks. This is let me see what we got. Made this yesterday. Cooked this up. Watch the market unfold. Check it out, y'all. Oh yeah. $1 trillion tickets, free sense. Got this vision in my mind. Financial freedom is my time. Every lesson builds my wings. Melanin love, now let it sing. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every lesson must be earned. Dreams become what you believe. Knowledge is the master key. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every lesson must be earned. Dreams become what you believe. Knowledge is the master key. Up before the sun, no distractions. Got my coffee, I'm focused, all action. Every candle tells a story. Every lesson builds my glory. Study charts, I trust my plan. Patient hands don't chase the scams. Losses teach what wins can't show. Every season helps me grow. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every lesson must be earned. Dreams become what you believe. Knowledge is the master key. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every lesson must be earned. Dreams become what you believe. Knowledge is the master key. No setup on the chart, no trade. Watch the VWAP and EMAs. Trading futures, trading options, building freedom before I clock in. Let the market show the way. I don't force it, I just wait. Higher highs and higher lows. Trend confirms before I go. Swinging high, we're reaching stars. Success isn't far, it's all. The dreams are born inside the mind. Knowledge changed this life of mine. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every lesson must be earned. Dreams become what you believe. Knowledge is the master key. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every lesson must be earned. Dreams become what you believe. Knowledge is the master key. Trust the process. Trust the key. Knowledge builds prosperity. The more you learn, the more you earn. Matt Riches, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Cooked that up yesterday, y'all. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.